Hello, it's Harry from Fusion Holidays. I thought it'd be really useful just to jump on and do a very short video for you lovely people. There's been many a question for British passport holders about what's going to be happening towards the end of this year for trying to go on holiday into the EU. Some of you may or may not know, but come October, the EU are going to be implementing a entry and exit system for British passport holders. This is because we've obviously no longer now part of the EU, so you may have all experienced situations where your passports etc have been stamped when you arrive and exit EU countries for your holidays. So we get many customers coming in and asking us, do we know what's going on? To be honest, in a nutshell, nobody really knows what's going on, but there is some framework that has been released and put into play. So the aim of this video, very briefly, is to just give you a bit of an overview on what you can expect come the end of this year and what you might need to do and how that's going to affect your travel. So here we go. So basically, the biggest change is going to be for guests travelling to countries within the Schengen area. That's going to be where the problems are going to lie. So from the 12th of October 2025, the European Union will introduce a new entry and exit system, or also known as an EES. So that's going to begin on the 12th of October. So this is a new digital border system that's going to change requirements for British nationals travelling to the Schengen area. Now, many people still are a little bit unsure which countries are involved in the Schengen area. So the countries that you will find in the Schengen area are Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Liechtenstein, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, the Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and finally Switzerland. So if you're going to any of those destinations, those countries are classed as being in the Schengen area, so you need to pay attention. So if you are going to be travelling to a country within that area for a short stay using your UK passport, you are going to be required to register your biometric details. So it's very important that you have a current passport which is biometric. If you don't, my honest advice, renew it. It's going to save you a load of pain when you arrive into these destinations. So what does it mean by biometric? It basically means that they are going to collect your fingerprints and they're going to take a photo when you arrive. So the EES, also known as the entry exit system, will replace the current system. So the current system at the moment is you arrive into these countries, you go to passport control, they manually look at you, they manually check your passport, and then they give you a stamp. That will change. As long as you've got your EES registration up to date, it's going to be a lot easier. So this is going to be a bit more painful on your first trip once this comes in, but hopefully after your first trip, it's going to be a lot easier because all that information is going to be stored on the system already. So EES, or the entry exit system, it's going to take each of you, so each passenger's got to do this no matter how big or small you are, a few extra minutes to complete. Okay, so you will on your first trip out just be prepared to wait a little bit longer than usual at border control once this system comes into place. With anything, there is going to be a few teething problems, I can almost guarantee it, but hopefully we will get it sorted. Or not me, I'm not involved in it, I'm just helping tell you. The governments, the countries will help and get it smoothed out as quickly as possible. So if you are going to be travelling to a Schengen area, okay, when the EES, so the entry exit system, is introduced, you're going to need to create a digital record on your first visit. Okay, that doesn't matter if you're arriving into an airport or a port, you're going to have to do this regardless. You will be required, there's no if, buts or maybes, to give them your fingerprints, and you will have to have your photo taken. Now, they are going to have some dedicated booths, hopefully, for this to speed up and for this to be done quickly and professionally for you. Okay, you don't need to provide any of the information before traveling. So there's nothing really for you to complete or do before you go on your holidays. It's one of those, you're just going to have to do it for when you arrive in your Schengen area country. Okay, if you're going to be flying to a country in the Schengen area, you will experience longer queue times when you arrive. That's just due to the sheer amount of people that's arriving into each airport within the EU. It's a busy place, so just be forewarned, be prepared and plan accordingly. If you're going to be entering the Schengen area through places like the port of Dover, the Eurotunnel at Folkestone, or perhaps using the Eurostar and St Pancras International, this information is going to be taken from you at the border before you leave the UK. That's the only exception. So just as you're about to leave, this is when this information is going to be recorded and detailed for you. Okay, you are going to you are going to still need to provide your fingerprint or photo as per I've mentioned above. Okay, if you are a frequent traveller, which many of you will be and are, to the Schengen area for work or leisure purposes, you must ensure that combined, so it doesn't matter if you go 3, 4, 5 times, it's a combined total that you do not stay more than 90 days in every 180 days. So you can't stay longer than 90 days in 180 days, regardless of how that's broken up or transmitted, okay? You must be fully aware that if you do overstay, you will be penalised, okay? And it could be quite serious as well. So just bear that in mind, stick to your 90 days in every 180 and you're going to be absolutely fine. Okay, so your digital record that you will create for the EES or entry exit system is going to be valid for 3 years. So if you enter the Schengen area again during this time, you're only going to need to scan your fingerprint and provide your photo. When you enter and exit, it's going to be fairly quick and straightforward. Okay, but after 3 years they may ask you to renew this information, take new fingerprints, take a new photo. We're still waiting on the exact and final guidelines for that to be happening. Okay, so why are they doing it? Well, basically the EES is designed to improve your border security within the EU and the neighbouring countries. It's to help reduce and prevent illegal migration within the Schengen areas. It's also going to help automate border control checks. So that's going to help the EU stop people overstaying their welcome. That's the primary aim of this. Okay, the entry-exit system is going to be part of a wider framework as well within the EU, which is going to come more into effect as we come into 2026. And what we have been told is in the last quarter of 2026, the EU is going to be expecting to start operations of the European Travel Information and Authorization System, also known as ETIAS. No action at this point is required from anybody at all. The European Union will communicate a lot more about what's expected, what we need to be doing, the rules, the regulations, etc. Way in advance of the specific start date, which is yet to be confirmed. So just don't panic. I'll try and do a video on that nearer the time as well, as I'm sure many other people will do as well. We just need to ensure that you guys all get away nice and quickly on your next holiday as of October this year. The biggest difference between the EES, which is the system that's coming into place in October this year, and the ETIAS is that you're going to end up paying for it. Okay, so when the ETIAS is going to be introduced, you will need to apply for authorization in advance to enter Schengen area countries with your UK passport. You're also going to need to provide more personal information and details about your trip, where you're going, what you're doing, where you're staying. And then they're going to charge you for the pleasure a €7 fee as part of the authorization process. So we just need to bear that in mind with future trips, because many suppliers now are releasing product right up until 2028 at the moment, which is quite frightening. So we are just going to be waiting for the official website to come out. The EU are setting out all of the information on the ETIAS of exactly what's going to be required for each nationality and person entering. Eventually they will release a website containing that information, so we will get hold of that for you nearer the time. Okay, now how is the entry-exit system going to affect travel to Schengen areas? We do know that the UK government, through seminars from APTA, have been working very closely with the European Commission, member states, the local authorities, and within the travel industry world as well, to prepare people for the implementation of the EES. The government themselves are supporting all the local ports and carriers to ensure that the registration for EES is going to be as simple and as painless for everyone travelling to the Schengen areas. Okay, so you are going to see new infrastructure, you're going to see new kiosks, you're going to see new posts and information coming out from the UK government, from ferry operators, from flight operators. They're all going to take part, but they are going to implement as many kiosks as physically possible. So the loose numbers that we're being told is, for example, Eurostar, they're going to have over 50 kiosks in the 3 locations that they depart the UK from. Eurotunnel, busy place, they're going to have over 100 kiosks operating, and they're hoping that the checks that you do within the Eurotunnel is only going to add in 5 minutes to your journey time, so that's not too bad at all. The port of Dover, one of the busiest ports here in the UK, they're going to take 24 kiosks because they deal with a lot of coach passengers and obviously guests within their cars, etc. But what they're going to do with some of passengers travelling within their cars, they're actually going to have mobile tablets as well that they're going to hand you from the ticketing booth to allow you to do the EES in there. So they are working very quickly to try and make this as seamless as possible for you. Now, we deal with a lot of cruise passengers, and one of the biggest questions that we get is how is that going to affect our cruise ship guests? So the EES requirements for cruise ship guests are going to vary a little bit depending on where you're departing and arriving. So any sailings that are going to start and finish outside of the Schengen area, so i.e. from Southampton or Portsmouth or Dover, Liverpool, Tilbury, to name a few, you will generally be exempt from EES checks. And that's also if you're doing a day trip as well, so that's quite nice. So if you're just going to be calling into a Schengen port for the day, you will not, at this moment in time, be required to do an EES. Winner. However, travellers who are disembarking a cruise within the Schengen area, so we see many guests travel from Southampton down into the Mediterranean or vice versa, you will need to complete an EES, okay, when leaving the ship. So what will happen is many of the cruise lines, people like us, travel agents, we're all going to help provide the guidelines for you, and we'll update you accordingly as and when this happens. So to recap, leaving from Southampton, any UK port, you will not, as long as you're returning back to a UK port, you will not need to complete an EES. However, if you're disembarking or embarking in a European port, 100% you will need to do an EES check and provide your fingerprints and your photo. So just to be clear on that. So that is basically the update that we've received. It's the update that's out there within the wider community. It's also available on the directgov.uk website as well in regards to the entry and exit system. But I wanted to take this opportunity to provide the information to you. We are very transparent here at Fusion Holidays. We want to ensure our guests have a great time. We want to give you as much help and information as possible. And to be honest, it's the first time that I've had the opportunity to do a video like this. So if you did like what we've provided in sense of information, my charm and personality, whatever the case might be, if you could kindly like the video and subscribe to our channel, I'd be very grateful, because my game, the aim of my game now is I want to provide little helpful videos, little tidbits that you can have in your tea breaks, your lunch breaks, and to make travel more comfortable for people in general. So I hope this video was helpful to you. It was an update in regards to the EU entry and exit system, which is going to be coming into play around about the 12th of October 2025. Following that, you will then get the bigger system coming into play, as I've previously mentioned in this video. So thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks for watching this video with me, and I hope the information I have provided you has been helpful and allows you to plan some fantastic holidays. Take care. See you all soon.